forced my friend to come clean about cheating on her husband, and now my friendship group hate me. For almost 2 years, I carried a secret that wasn't mine to carry. My best friend, let's call her Kara, had been cheating on her husband, and I knew everything. Every detail, every excuse, every promise she made and broke. I was her confidant, her cover, her closest ally, and for a long time, I told myself that's just what best friends do. You show up, you stay loyal, you keep your mouth shut. But nobody tells you what that actually costs. It started with what everyone called a break. Kara and her husband were living separately, and honestly, she was thriving. She was free, she was fun, she was herself again in a way I hadn't seen in years. There was something electric about watching her rediscover who she was, outside of a marriage that had clearly been suffocating her. I supported that. I cheered her on. But then, a few months in, she started something with another guy in our friend group. Casual at first, a situationship. Nothing serious, they both insisted. Just two people having fun with no strings attached. Except, feelings don't follow the rules. They developed something real between them, something complicated and messy and impossible to neatly put away. And by the time Kara had decided to go back home, to fix her marriage, to be the wife she'd promised to be, the situationship guy was still there, pulling at something in her she couldn't quite let go of. And she kept going back, again and again and again. Every single time she swore it was over. Every time she sat across from us at dinner and told us she owned her mistakes, that she was committed, that she was trying. Every time she looked us in the eye and said she was choosing her husband. She wasn't, not fully, not really. And the hardest part, I think deep down we all knew, and we all stayed quiet anyway. That silence has a weight to it that people don't warn you about. It doesn't announce itself. It just slowly accumulates. It sits on your chest at every group hangout, every casual conversation, every time her husband shows up smiling and unsuspecting. You smile back, you cover, you laugh at his jokes and answer his questions, and you say absolutely nothing. Because she's your best friend, because it's not your secret to tell, because you keep hoping she'll figure it out herself and spare everyone the explosion. But the explosion always comes eventually. Then came the concert trip. A whole group of us went away together. Music, drinks, the kind of night that feels endless when you're in the middle of it. We were deep into the evening, some club with bass you could feel in your ribcage, and something in me just cracked open. I don't know if it was the alcohol or the exhaustion, or just 2 years of swallowed guilt finally pushing its way out. But drunk me had carried that secret long enough. I pulled Kara aside and told her exactly how much this was eating me alive. How guilty I felt every single time I looked her husband in the eye. How I wasn't sure how much longer I could keep pretending everything was fine, when nothing was fine. How the weight of knowing had started to feel less like loyalty and more like complicity. I told her it was getting to the point where I might have to tell her husband myself. I don't remember most of it. I didn't remember any of it, until a week later when she sent me a text. A long, carefully worded one. She said I had crossed a line, that I had threatened her, that what I did was a betrayal of her trust, and that I had chosen the worst possible moment to unload all of that onto her. And she wasn't entirely wrong. A packed club at midnight, music rattling the walls. Both of us past the point of careful conversation. That was not the right place, not even close. I apologized sincerely. I told her I couldn't remember much, but that I clearly used the wrong time and the wrong place, and I meant that. I kept my response short, because she said she didn't want to fight, and I didn't either. I gave her space after that, stepped back completely, watched from a distance as the week unfolded. And that same week, Kara told her husband everything. Not because she'd had some grand moral awakening, not because she woke up one morning and decided the right thing to do was come clean, but because my words, drunk and clumsy and poorly timed as they were, had shaken something loose in her, had made the secret feel suddenly unstable, suddenly real in a way she could no longer control. I don't know what's happening in their marriage now, whether they're trying to work through it or whether it's already over. That part of the story isn't mine to tell, and honestly, I've tried to respect that boundary, even in my own head. What I do know is that I haven't really spoken to my best friend in almost 3 months. So tell me, honestly, am I the one who got this wrong?